Republican State Representative Katrina Pierson of Rockwall, thank you so much and welcome back to Eye on Politics.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
So first of all, let's get your reaction to the fact that two of the federal judges on this three-judge panel ruled to block the new congressional maps drawn and approved by the Texas Republicans in the legislature.
Yeah, well, I think that no one thought this was just going to fly through. I mean, every map we've ever done has got tied up in the courts, and I fully expect this one to go the same way. Though it was a little shocking, particularly with some of the language that was used. Clearly, they didn't take into account a lot of the things that were discussed either during the committee hearings or during the debate. But it seemed like the court really overstated race and understated politics. The opinion, to me, misreads the motivation of the 2025 maps and ignores the legislative process. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens as it goes down further in the courts, because the Supreme Court has already ruled that federal courts can't intervene when these maps are drawn by partisan basis. So we'll see what happens.
Now, the court said, these two judges said, quote, substantial evidence of racial gerrymandering was found. And so talk to me a little bit about that, because they basically say race was the motivating factor here.
Well, again, I think they're just misreading the motivation of the map. It sounded to me like, and this is 160 pages, it just came out, but it sounded to me like they were focused more on what the federal government was saying, not necessarily what the legislature actually did. And I think that's where people are getting lost in translation, because a number of times we said during the process, the way the legislature operates, I mean, we are the dictating authority on how elections are run in our state. We did not take that in consideration. We just simply redrew the maps based on political performance. And I believe the opinion even stated that political motivation was a part of this. But I think they just dug too far into that. And I think the Supreme Court will sort this out.
And I was going to ask you about that, because the governor, the Texas state of Texas obviously filed an appeal with the Supreme Court yesterday, hours after this ruling came out. How confident are you that the Supreme Court will even take this up?
Well, it depends. I mean, I understand they're looking at another case with regards to coalition districts. So I wouldn't be able to say with any certainty which way I think it's going to go. But I do believe by the end of this process, Texas will be able to have its maps drawn based on political performance, if not now, in the near future. So I don't know. I think that this has been an interesting process. When you look at the opinions and the dissents and everything else, it kind of sounds like something else is going on in that federal court. But we'll leave it up to the Supreme Court to make the determination. Because again, if anyone paid attention to the committee hearings or even the debate on the House floor, it was very clear. The decision that the legislature made was to draw maps based on political motivations. And it was very clear, particularly as the maps are more compact, which negates the whole gerrymandering argument.
Now, as you and I are speaking on Wednesday, just in the last few minutes, the dissenting judge in this three-member panel issued a scathing memo before his dissent, going after Judge Brown in this case. And in his dissent, he even wrote this. He said, quote, the main winners from Judge Brown's opinion are George Soros and Gavin Newsom. The obvious losers are the people of Texas and the rule of law. I dissent. Your reaction to that?
Well, I think he's right. Again, I think it was a total mischaracterization of the motivation. The Texas legislature acted within accordance to the Constitution and redrew the lines based on political motivation, and I think that was very clear. The dissent, to me, is right on point. I mean, there's no way to say and to accuse the legislature of drawing those maps for any other reasons when there's an entire floor debate that outlines the purposes in which we drew the lines.
And, you know, the one thing in Judge Brown's opinion, he's talked a little bit about there just not being enough time to send this back to the legislature to have a special session, come up with new maps, and because of that, he wanted to stick with the 2021 maps. What's your thought about that?
Well, I think the maps are fine. Again, so we'll have to see if the Supreme Court and if they can quickly take this up and issue a ruling. Otherwise, we may have to use those maps. But, I don't know. This just happened yesterday. I'm sure everyone's discussing it. We'll let the lawyers handle this and let the courts sort it out.
My last question to you, I appreciate your time. The last time you and I spoke, you told me that you were considering a run for the new 32nd congressional district, which would include your home county and extend
Mhm.
out to East Texas. And I'm wondering, has this whole process changed that?
Well, no, because it is a process. I haven't made any decisions because this hasn't been resolved. If there is a district, I will consider it. And if not, I'm very happy to continue to represent the amazing people of Rockwall County.
All right, we will leave it there. State Representative Katrina Pierson of Rockwall, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.